Ow. Alright guys, for today's video, back here at my water heater, I've already done a how to flush this water heater, and then I ran into an issue where the water wasn't getting as hot as it should. So I looked up online, saw what the major causes were, and I tried doing that, which was some extra maintenance stuff that I hadn't done previously, and then flushed it out again. That did not solve the problem, but I know what the problem is now, and we're going to fix it real quick. It is the internal check valve. So I'm going to explain to you how that got figured out and just show you how to do this real quick. And this water filter is a Mavien NPE 180A, but this should be the same process for any NPE series Mavien water heater, and this will probably be about the same process for every hot water heater themselves, but the layout and the parts will be different. Okay, so there are 4 bolt or screws in here, 2 on the top, 2 down here on the bottom. I already had those removed to get the faceplate off, so you just lift out up on the faceplate here, lift it out, lift it up, and it comes right out of the way, and we'll set it out of the way. So right here you can see I turned it off, and what I also did is I drained the system down, because we got to drain it down to be able to replace this valve and not flood the whole compartment. But the way I drained it down, I just shut off the water inlet coming in. I went into the house, I opened up the faucet, got every little pressure out of there. Then I came back and I put on my hose here on the outlet, the service port on the hot water side, opened it up, drained it outside the house, or from where mine located is, depending on where you are. You could drain it into a bucket, whatever you got to do, it doesn't matter. So here we go. Let me explain this to you. So hot water heater here, there's 2 ways for this to run. It can be internally monitored or externally monitored. That being, what I mean by that is, depending on where this is, it runs at a certain temperature. It's supposed to be limited to like 120 degrees. You can go more than that if you want, but say someone installs it, they limit it to 120 degrees. That's more than warm enough for me. It feels like skin's burned off anyways. But the way this system works is there can either recycle itself internally, or it can monitor it externally. For external monitoring, it would have what's called a comfort tee at like one of your faucets, pretty much the farthest away here, to where that will read the temperature going into that faucet, which would then turn the signal back here to then cut the heat off to kind of maintain the water. It is external to the unit. Internal wise means that the water here is recirculating using this recirculation pump right here, and the temperature is monitored at the unit here. So if it reads up to like 120 degrees here, it'll shut off. It'll keep cycling the hot water through here until it's needed to heat up again. It'll kick the furnace back on, and it will go and run out as needed. For this to happen, there is an internal check valve here that lets water go in one direction but not come back the other direction, because if it goes back in the other direction, it starts reading funky. So the way that this was determined as to this being the issue is, if we look down here, and this is the NPE 180A model, but there is right here, I don't know if you'll be able to read it without a glare here. Can't get you in there. Okay. This little switch here, all right? You probably can't read it, but right now that switch is pointing downward. That is pointing to external. If that little tab that is pointing down was pointing over towards the 9 o'clock position, that would be set to internal. This had been running on internal ever since it had been installed. So to check what was wrong with this, I set it to external, and at that point in time, the water bypasses the recirculation pump and all that, and it just pumps the hot water out from here out to one of the faucets, and you just go open the faucet and let it run. If the water starts getting much hotter than it was when this was going, when this was set to internal, then that means that the check valve right here is bad. So that's how that was determined. Since I figured that out, I've been running on an external and just making sure I didn't get it too hot in the house to get burned while we're showering and all that. And now we're just going to replace the check valve. So with that all being said, if you're having issues with this and you don't even want to get check valve, even though it's incredibly cheap, you could just set that to external if you're running an internal now, and just completely bypass it altogether. And a way to do that too is you wouldn't even worry about this recirculation pump right here. You would actually go into this front panel, lift up the little tab here, and there are dip switches going all the way across the top. That one on the very left there is the number 1. It is currently up. If I were to slide that to down, that would mean it would turn off this recirculation pump altogether, and you can just completely bypass it that way if you want to. That is totally up to you. But I actually ordered the part, and it was really cheap. It was $8 from tanklessparts.com, and it got shipped here. The shipping was like twice as much as the part, but here's the part number right there. I don't know if you can see that, but it's 30008-360A for this Mavien here. It's direct part. You can see exactly what it is, and it sits right in here. So all we do to replace this is there's this little lock tab right here that you'll just pull up. You'll slide the check valve out, slide the new one in, push the lock tab back on, and then I will switch that back to internal, and it'll be all done. Turn it back on, we're good to go. I'm going to set a towel in here. Probably should have got a smaller towel, just in case, because I'm sure we're going to spill a little bit of water. Hang on, I'm going to probably have to set this down while I do this. All right, I got the towel in there, and now remember, you want to drain this all down before you go ahead and put this in. So just lift up on this tab right like this. Slide out of the way, hang on to it, and then we'll just pull this valve out. It's got O-rings on it, so I may need to use my channel locks really quick. Let me grab those. I'm going to use this just to get a purchase on it. There you go, pull it straight out. You hear all that water burbling. And that I just pop this back in here to let it more go spill back outside and not in the unit. Do this again, get a little more airflow. So you hear it draining down. Oh, I'm filming up in the wrong area. Letting it drain down. As we do that, I'll just go ahead and open up my new valve here. We'll just pull it out and swap it in. Okay, so we'll just pull this out the rest of the way now. Valve is out. I'll take it here, and there's a little location tab on the top right, or on the top of it, that goes up to kind of like the 1 o'clock position on here. Slide it in there, and that is now in location. And you just take this tab, push it right back down, and there you go. The valve has been replaced, the check valve. Just get all this extra water out. There's a little bit of water. Maybe swim past there, and this is just what it looks like. You can see, I think there's a failure right there. Right here on the check valve part, you can see that gasket has kind of separated and pulled out. So what was happening is that this was not sealing all the way, and it was letting the cold and hot water cross over here internally, which was causing the water to never fully get as hot as it should be. So that's it. That's a quick little replacement here. Now we'll come in here, and I'll turn this switch back over to where it says internal. So now it will monitor itself inside this unit like it had always been happening from the get-go. And we should be good to go. Now let me close this port real quick. I'm going to turn the cold water on and make sure I don't get it blasted with water. Let's see. Right. And now the water's going cycling up. You can hear it go all up through the pipes to fill up, take out all the air that was currently in there when I drain everything out. So yeah, that's it. That is how we swap out a internal regulator valve in a Mavien NPE series. Called it, look at that ninja, NPE series hot water heater. If you are having an issue where your water is not getting hot fully, or maybe you're having like water fluctuations where it won't maintain a correct temperature, if you do a good job doing the maintenance stuff, or if you did what I did in the last video, where actually cleaning out areas that you may have missed prior and it's still solving an issue, or still have an issue, this should solve your problem. Remember, I got it at Tankless Parts. You could get this one on Amazon too if you want to, but honestly, it ended up being cheaper from Tankless Parts and paying the shipping than getting one on Amazon. The Amazon only one I can find, it only showed a picture of like this very top area, so I couldn't even tell if it was correct for this whole thing. But yeah, that's it. Nice and easy job. This will take care of that issue on the water heaters. And I'll just turn this back on. and everything's good to go. So, all right, guys, that's all I got for today. So like, comment, subscribe, and all that, and I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching.